up, everybody? It's Lil Bob. Today I got Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Super excited. I was stalking the UPS man with the new UPS tracker thing, and I posted some stuff on my Twitter, but it finally got here really late in the afternoon. But yeah, I got up really early and just couldn't go back to sleep, and I've just been waiting, and now it's here. So let's get into it. Super excited. So I played about an hour of each one of these games to get a feel for each one, to see what they changed, and to see what stayed the same. A little bit has changed, a lot has stayed the same, and we'll get into why in a little bit. But I'm going to go through each one, pros, cons, things that I've seen. And yeah, so we're going to start with Mario 64. Mario 64 was a super fun game when I got it. I played that game for hours. I was really young, but I had lots of fun even though I could not finish most of the levels. My brother and sister had to help me. Still had tons of fun, and to this day, it's still a fun game. I do wish they went full screen. I don't understand why. I mean, I'll do a little bit, but they could have just gone full screen. I really wish they had. I think it would have made the game so much better. I used my Pro Controller from Power A to play, and it seemed to work really well. Pretty simple commands, not very difficult to play. Everything kind of seemed the same. I did struggle with having to move the camera angles because I'm so used to newer games with being able to just rotate your camera around, and Mario 64 is not set up for that, and they did not change it to make it any better. So I was constantly getting stuck where it tells you can't move the camera any further, and I just get a little frustrated because I wish I could see around this corner, but it is what it is. It is an old game. They did just bring it over and put it into the Switch. They didn't really start from the ground up like I wish they had. They did improve one thing. The graphics do look a lot better. And they did also change the text when you talk to the different people telling you how to play the game. They did change it to fit Joy-Con descriptions versus Nintendo 64 controller suggestions. All in all, they didn't do anything to ruin the game. It is an old N64 game, and it plays just like it did back in the day. So, now to go on to Mario Sunshine. This is the game that I have played the most. When I was a kid, I got this game for Christmas, and I played hundreds of hours. So this is probably the one that I have the most to talk about because I am the most experienced in this one versus the others. So to start, I have a few problems. Number one, when you lock your stance to spray different enemies, the controls are inverted. So it sounds weird, but up is actually up and down is actually down versus most games is the opposite. So going into locked view, which you do have to do quite often in this game, is very frustrating because I'll try to be going up and it'll go down and I'll get hit by enemies. I can get used to it. I do wish they gave an option in the settings to change this. Maybe I looked, I couldn't find it. If there is a setting and someone knows, let me know. But as far as I know, there's no setting that lets you change this. Maybe they can change that in the future. I hope they do. It's very frustrating. I wish they'd just give us our own option and to do what we want. My second problem is they didn't really give a solution for not having an analog trigger. So the GameCube had a lot of play in it when you pulled your trigger, which meant you could spray a little or you could spray a lot from flow. They didn't really have a solution for this. It just kind of is full blast or it's nothing. The only solution that I found is to tap it a bunch. So to get a little bit of a flow, you tap your trigger and it's like a little drizzle, and if you hold it down, it's full force. I really wish they had come up with a better solution for this. I don't know what they could have done, but I feel like they could have done something. It's not the end of the world. The game is still playable. It's still fun. It is a little frustrating when you just need a little bit of spray and it ends up launching it way further than you intend. One more problem with the game, I promise, is the cutscenes don't really look that updated graphically. They kind of look the same, and I always thought this as a kid. When a cutscene would show up, it looked like darker than what was actually in the game, and it always confused me. It looked like it was overcasty. And I get that different scenes in the game do have the darkness to them, But it always confused me because it was darker than it was in the game, and it just didn't seem right. They also didn't seem like they upgraded the graphics of the cutscenes that much, so they're still very blurry around the edges. I didn't see side-by-side gameplay, but it's not as crisp as I think it could be. Now to get on to the plus side of things, the graphics do look good in gameplay, very vibrant, they pop out, it's great to play. Love the big full screen, big widescreen, it's great. I love that. What I also didn't like, sorry, one more complaint, I swear. I don't like the fact that they didn't allow for GameCube controller support. So if you get the adapter to plug it into your Switch, it won't work, supposedly. Haven't tried it, don't have a GameCube adapter. My solution was to get a Power A GameCube wireless controller, which the Switch recognizes as a Pro controller, which works with this game. So, if you want to, Amazon has them on sale all the time for about $36. You gotta look for the sale, they pop up all the time, but I think it's worth it. I played this game with a GameCube controller. I like playing it with a GameCube controller, it's just easier for me personally. So yeah, on Amazon, they're usually $36 when they're on sale. If they're not on sale now, just give it some time. They usually go on sale every few weeks or so. But they do work, confirmed. I've played, all the gameplay that I did was with that controller, and it worked flawlessly. Now for Mario Galaxy. I never played Mario Galaxy before, so I don't really have a reference point, so I'm just going to go off of the gameplay that I experienced today. The graphics look really good, actually. Like, I know they're not like modern graphics for the games that are released, but they look really good. Like, if they did update them, they did a really good job, and if this is how the game looked before, it looked great for back then. 2007, they got it. Spot on. Now, about the gameplay. The main thing about Mario Galaxy was it was based around the Nintendo Wii controller, which was a motion controller. And one of the main things about this game, you have to move a little star around your screen to collect these little bits. Problem is, if you're playing on a controller, like I played on my Pro controller, you have to move the controller around to do it. So if you're running and you're trying to grab these bits, you have to run and like move your controller around like you're a 3-year-old. I don't love it. I wish there was an option where I could change it to the joystick or hit a button in the joystick, something. If you're going to play this one, I would recommend using your Joy-Cons. I think that might be the best option for you, because I think that it would utilize the motion controls a lot easier with them being the most similar to the Wii controllers. I honestly don't have a bunch more to say about Mario Galaxy because, like I said before, I hadn't played it before, so I have nothing to compare it to. All around, pretty good game. I'm looking forward to playing it for the first time. It looks like a lot of fun. So all in all, I really wish Nintendo had spent more time developing this. I wish they hadn't done a halfway done job with the game. And recently we just found out that they didn't do anything new with the game. They just straight emulated all of them to the Switch. Which, if you don't know, means basically it is just a copy from back in the day that is playable on your Switch. Now, they did update the graphics, they did change some things. I wish that they did more. For $60, I think it's worth it. Personally, I'm still going to play the game. I'm still going to have fun. I would have paid $60 again. But for $60, I really wish they would have done more. Built it from the ground up. Remastered it for real instead of... I really wish they would have just put more time into it. I wish they would have put more effort into it. I wish they would have put more resources into it. It just looks like they threw it at us like, oh, here you go. Here's your game that y'all wanted. It wasn't really... It didn't look like they took their time with it. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro got basically built from the ground up and re-released them, and they were only $40, and they did all that. And for Mario to be such a big title for Nintendo, like, it is Nintendo. You think Nintendo, you think Mario. For this being the 35th anniversary and being as big as it was, I really don't understand their thought process of not putting in a full effort. But that's enough of that. I digress. Let's move on. I am very happy that they brought it to Switch. Like I said, I'd pay the $60 again. Personally, it's worth it for me. I'm gonna have hours and hours of gameplay on this. My wife's gonna have hours and hours of gameplay. We're gonna have fun with it. It's worth our money. Personally, I do think it is worth it if you've played these games before. You enjoyed Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Galaxy. If you played them and you want that like nostalgia kick, or if you haven't played them and you want to play them, $60 for 3 games isn't bad. There's a lot of hours of gameplay in there. I think it's worth it. If you are going to pick this up, I think you should go digital. I know that they're stopping the sale in March of next year, but Nintendo did say that they will continue to support cloud downloading. So if you own it on your account, you will be able to download it if your Switch ever dies, you get a new one, or so on and so forth. So it will be supported to download later on. There's nothing special about the physical copy. If you want to go look, it's on my Instagram, it's on my Twitter. It's just a box. I like collecting boxes, but I'm a weirdo. My wife hates it. But if you just want to play the game, just get the digital copy. I think it's much more worth it. You don't have to wait for it to ship if it ever ships, because as far as I know, they're still sold out everywhere. And there's no news on resupplies as far as making this recording. So I would just go ahead and get your digital copy. So, yeah, I think it's worth it. Totally fun game. Looking forward to playing it. Maybe in the future I'll stream some plays of playing it, looking to get into some streaming on Twitch. Gotta get a few things ready before we do that, but maybe this will be one of the games that I stream. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of any future videos that I come up with. I'm going to be doing news. I've got some ridiculous gameplay of me and my friends, and I got a playthrough series of The Outer Worlds, and I plan on doing some other playthrough series of other stuff, and I play games all the time. It's kind of the whole channel. So, anyway, we'll see you later. Peace.